Renee Bays, Rakim, John, 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 Renee Bays, Rakim, John.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Podcast of Color, where 4 trash bags of color come together to make sense of the world. A 4 trash bag is not here today.
That sounded like you were going from you just went from British to Wakandan.
That was actually what I was doing. You are paying attention.
That was the reversed colonization
Welcome to Podcast
process.
of Color.
It was a gradient of the accent. That's exactly what I was doing. You are so smart.
It was the Wakanda spectrum.
Yeah, for Wakanda. Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
Lord Jesus, fix it.
No, that is not okay. Do not call on Jesus to fix it. This is how I talk. That is not okay.
So is there? There's 3 of us this week. Rini is not joining us this evening.
Rini.
Life happens.
So you will just be stuck with us. We hope that is okay with you.
Yes. Hopefully 3 trash bags suffice this week.
Yes.
Oh,
I am so sorry. So I will be doing the question of Kada this week. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that the whole show.
I was like, please don't.
No, I'm not going to do that. No. So the question of color this week, because I got into a Twitter conversation with a few people about this the other day. So I would like to know, I'm just going to speak in my regular accent, my regular Valley Boy accent. Oh my
Valley
God.
Boy.
What was y'all's or is y'all's favorite flavor of Kool-Aid? Actually, and then what is the worst flavor of Kool-Aid?
Well, I don't usually participate in these niggerosities that you are.
Wow.
Why would you say that? I feel like every child had Kool-Aid.
Oh, are you going to all lives matter the Kool-Aid?
No, I'm not going to all Kool-Aid. No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm with John on this one.
I too had Kool-Aid.
No.
Said, what's the white lady who was pretending to be black?
Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal.
Dolezal.
I too drink Kool-Aid. Grape is my favorite. Actually, grape, I think grape is actually my favorite. I'm such a nigger.
Are you though with that answer?
God, those hard R's.
Am I not? What's the red one? Cherry?
Yeah,
whatever?
the correct answer. Okay, before we do that, you need to tell me what is the last one.
Wait, before we do anything, who is who? We should introduce ourselves, huh?
Girl, it's episode 45. I'm Rakim.
Right? If you don't know who the fuck I am at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, the only reason why I asked because I wanted to say I'm John and I'm really into voguing right now.
Is that from Drag Race?
Yeah. It's Vanessa Hudgens. They're people are dragging her because her comment on Drag Race was she's just really into voguing right now.
Oh no.
People are ripping her for it.
Is that also how people are like, well, fuck my drag? Is that also from Drag Race?
Yeah,
too?
that's also from because somebody was reading Kennedy Davenport. I think it was Milk, and then Kennedy was like, well, fuck my drag, I guess.
From what I know about Milk, is Milk able to read Kennedy Davenport?
Wow.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say read. Period.
Oh, yeah.
I think
wow.
she's educated.
Maybe you. Wow. Wow. Do you see? We've been recording for literally less than 5 minutes, and Baze has literally said 3 anti-black things today.
Wait, is Milk black?
No, but Kennedy is.
No, that's who I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I was saying you were reading Milk.
So
yes. Okay.
Now back to Kool-Aid flavors.
Okay, so what was the worst
segue.
flavor for you?
I mean, I was gonna say the dumb answer and say my favorite Kool-Aid flavor was the red one, but
that's not the dumb answer. That's actually ding ding ding. Okay. That's the correct answer. You win a free trip to Fleet Island. That's
God, Fleet Island!
I knew
where the waters are
excited.
clear.
There's a butthole ride, and you get to drop out of the asshole.
Instead of a volcano, it's just this large fleet tube.
It's like Gullah Gullah Island, but fleeting island. Let's get together. Let's all go to fleeting island. Woo!
Wow. Is nothing sacred, Rakim?
I mean, I don't know, not from you, because you apparently like the purple Kool-Aid better than the red one. So
is the best one to me.
Absolutely.
Did you ask for opinions? Because that's what I gave you.
Okay, and your opinion was wrong, but that's okay.
Well, then don't ask for it in the future.
Okay, so I'm just not supposed to do this segment of the show?
Exactly.
What do you guys think Renee's favorite flavor would be? I'm gonna say red.
Yeah,
you know,
but aren't there like more than one reds? There's like
I would say red, and I think that the red represents his communist leaning.
I was tell me why. I was just about to say. I was gonna say his least favorite is green because that's the color of capitalism.
Oh, so
yes. I know he doesn't like that. But more importantly, because I am here and I didn't answer. The most important and bedrock flavor is red. The least great flavor is definitely blue. I don't know. Or actually, maybe dark red. No, I lied. I'm sorry. The worst flavor is orange. I never seen that. Never heard that. Never tasted that. I don't want any part of that. I am not she. She is not me.
Are you reclaiming your Kool-Aid?
Reclaiming my Kool-Aid. Reclaiming my Kool-Aid. Actually, Baze, were you ever good at making Kool-Aid or not?
I was. Yeah. All you gotta do is put a bunch of sugar in it.
Yeah, I mean, like how many? Like my water to scoop ratio would be more scoops than water because I wanted it really sweet.
Yeah.
See, black people don't do that. You just intuitively just know how to make it. Like, and in my family,
I mean, I wouldn't do the measuring cup. I would just pour it until it tasted good.
That's pretty much it. So like I feel like all black people make Kool-Aid like this. Like you pretty much got the water, you put the Kool-Aid in, and then you had to mix it in like a one of those like jug containers that like had scratches on the side of it because it's been used for so much. And your mama tells you have to scrub them with like the Brillo pad, but it's not gonna come out because they've been there forever. So there's maybe some grease stains in there, and then it has to be one of those ones where you put the cap on and you twist it to close it, and then when you twist it to put the juice out, there's like those 3 slits. And
those slits.
Yeah,
it's taking me back, sis. Yeah.
Yes, it's always in those kind. And then, like you would always run into the tea drawer and see if there was like Kool-Aid packets behind there.
Okay, not the tea. She had a tea drawer. Okay,
she
fancy.
Oh, no.
I ain't had no tea drawer.
It was like a little drawer that was like with the plastic forks and stuff. And we had like tea and stuff in it. And we put the Kool-Aid packets in there. Did y'all not do that?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, like the everything drawer.
Yes.
You just put whatever. It would be like napkins from the Chinese food spot. Okay.
Yes.
The real question of color is who had an everything drawer?
Look, my aunt played a dangerous game because she had the everything drawer and she kept her what she called doo-doo tea right next to the Kool-Aid.
Oh no.
What is doo-doo tea?
How many accidents happened from that?
I plead the fifth, but it was tea that like made you go boo-boo. So like, they would have castor oil and like my grandma would make all my cousins take it, and then they would have like doo-doo tea. So like you would drink it when you were constipated or whatever.
Yes.
Oh my god. She like basically disguised Miralax as tea and like just convinced everyone it was tea.
Who's tea?
Never. I don't know.
I was just gonna say y'all giving the scat contingent of our listeners ideas.
Oh my god, scat. Contingent.
Oh my! Why would you say that? I don't feel comfortable there. I don't like this. So why would you say that?
What is that from?
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know nothing. All I know is you're doing amazing, sweetie, and Kim, people are dying.
Kim, stop taking pictures of yourself. Your sister's going to jail.
Oh, I know that one. I do know that one. All I know is the memes that I see on Twitter.
That one was everything.
So did everybody answer?
I think we did. So
yeah,
we'll move on to we're going to move on now to the next section of the show. So we will see y'all in a second.
Trash, 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 trash.
Hello. Oh, okay.
What?
Okay, demonic voice.
What? I'm big. Okay, so anyway,
You sound
Welcome
like one
to-
of those. You sound like that commercial, like when it used to be like, "Oh, don't smoke cigarettes," and they had like the hole in their throat.
Oh my god!
uh,
I was thinking, have you guys ever seen that movie Fern Gully, where the little fairies in the rainforest,
oh yes,
Try to
I've
save
seen
the
that
rain-
movie in forever.
and like how the oil accumulates and the oil turns into a monster, and that's what she said.
I don't remember the details, but yeah,
Oh.
I remember the movie.
I like low key was like, I want to be that like sexy fairy because she just like flies
Oh, I
around in
should-
her like
I do
cut off
too.
dress. Do you remember that?
I don't
Yes.
even know
You know
what
what-
that is, but
You don't
You know
know?
what used to. You know
Oh.
what used to give me nightmares? The Thumbelina, and you remember when that frog like was trying to kidnap her?
Oh yes.
That I was terrified of frogs after I saw
I
it.
think that was representing like cis men, like just abusing women. That was
Come
the
on,
frog.
deeper meanings.
right?
okay, allegory,
Because I
yes.
swear, as a kid, I was
Yes.
like, I swear I've seen this man before, but it was like a frog.
You're like in everyday life.
You know what used to scare me? Okay, then we'll start. Like when on the Steve Harvey morning show, my mom used to listen to it all the time, and they would go, "Mama, here comes that man," and I would think, "Where, bitch?" Like I would be like,
Oh my god.
Okay, you want to know why that's triggering for me?
"Uh oh."
So y'all know Nigerian parents are wild, right? So
Yes.
when my dad would pick me up, I hated him like from day one. I just always knew there was something not right about that nigga. He would pull up, and I remember one time he pulled up, and I was like, "Mom, he's here," and I got in the car and we were driving away. He was like, "Don't you ever say he." Like he was pissed. He was like,
Whoa.
"Don't you ever say he." Like he was like, "You say dad." And I was just
Oh,
like, "Damn,
wow.
nigga, like I was just using the pronoun." Shit.
Just like,
I hope you really
Like he was like, "My pronoun is
my-
dad."
No.
I'm telling you, that nigga was on something. But anyway, so that's like whenever I hear that "Here comes that man," I get transported back to being in the car with that wild ass nigga.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the time when like, actually, I'm not gonna talk about that. I'll talk about that another time. Go ahead.
Maybe it'll be a discourse.
No,
actually,
it won't.
you know
be.
what?
My sister
Yes.
almost got kidnapped,
Oh my
but we'll
God,
talk
that's
about
a-
it later.
That's what we should
Ooh.
do, a Father's Day episode, and like talk about our dads.
My dad is dead, so
Okay, well, you could still talk about like father figures or
I think that will be such a triggering episode for literally like everyone on the show.
I mean, it is, but that's like a discourse, right? Like the Bad Dad Club.
Let's
or-
focus on the minutes of color that we're doing right now.
Yes, yes, you are correct.
So right now, what we talking about is Monique, Miss Monique.
Run her money.
Okay, I just love this like getting people together tour that she's on right now. Like she is like on every show, like sweetheart, my love, my beloved.
Beloved.
What you don't understand is like just going off on people, and like the sweetest, she been practicing. She been really practicing for years to tone herself down because she's like, you know what, I'm gonna drag the fuck out of you, and I'm gonna do it as calmly with a smile on my face. But I think part of that is because she knows that black women like are already like labeled like angry, and then she already has a reputation. So I think she understands
Hashtag
that she can't
reputation.
come in here being
I said hashtag reputation.
yeah, she already has a hashtag reputation. Buy it on iTunes. Hashtag Aryan Bops.
Oh my God.
And so I think that like she like is very conscious of how she's interacting with people, but it's so funny. She's like, my sweetness, beloved, my sweet sister. Like the way she just and she be using these
How
like
many
loving
terms of
terms
endearment can you come up with?
these terms of endearment while dragging the fuck out of someone.
That is so southern. Like,
And she went, bless your heart.
bless your
Like,
heart.
She sat up on the Breakfast Club and was like, you know what, my beloved
Leonard.
which I guess is Charlemagne's like legal name.
I refuse to call
She
him
was like-
Charlemagne.
She was like, you know what, Leonard, you a coon, and it's brothers like you that are ruining like the community because you act like you know shit and you don't know shit.
When you don't know the
And
history.
It just like took me out because nobody really talks to Charlemagne like that, and she got his ass together.
When she said that, she said, oh, what was she was talking about? Not 12 Years a Slave. What's the other movie?
Precious.
Oh,
Birth of a Nation. When she was talking about, oh, you know how that brother walks his wife up to the house.
When the guy,
Yes,
go
she's
ahead.
like, you know, that brother walks his wife up to the master's house and lets his wife in. you're that brother. And Charlemagne looked like, oh my God.
Ripped his soul from his body.
What do you...
Who needs a Dementor when you got Monique?
Listen, I'm about to say something about Dementors a little bit later in the episode.
Right.
With the Sam Smith picture that we've been seeing.
Girls, I was like, what are you doing? Because you're not kissing.
Wait,
I don't know.
Picture?
Had his mouth all the way open. Do you have it, Rakeem, to send to him?
Yeah, John, I'll screenshot it. Sorry, talk about Monique for a quick second while I send you the picture of the Dementor.
But yeah, so she's just been making her little rounds, and she was on the Breakfast Club, and I really appreciated that because you know what? After the way that they treated Janet Mock and Amara La Negra, nobody
okay, rolling R's.
Them.
I said, okay, roll your R's. You said that, nigga.
You know, I can do it a little bit. But Amara and Janet were both so polite because I felt like they knew that they had to be.
Right.
And Monique was as well. She was very polite in the way that she dragged him, but she got him together in a way that like I've not seen before. So I really loved that she did that. I thought that was really funny, and I thought it was everything. She got all of them together. She was like him, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. She was like, you could get it too, sweetie.
Honestly,
my sweetness.
People have been getting Angela Yee together for years. Do you remember when Nicki Minaj got her together?
I never saw that. I feel like she gets dragged like continuously, and they don't ever defend her.
Not only on the Breakfast Club, she was dragging too off of that one. I don't remember who she was talking to, but she was just like, but the thing is, see, when you came in here, you didn't even say hi to me, so I couldn't even talk to you until you got your energy right. And then she goes, see, because when who that was, and then she goes, well, I was busy doing something else, and she goes, yes, I know, but it's your show, and when it's your show, because I've had those. Yes. When it's your show, I stop what I'm doing and I say, hi, sweetie, I'm Monique. How are you?
When she said I've had those, I was like, yeah.
I said, well. And here's the thing, too. I actually, at first, and I've said it on the show that before, I was kind of like, I didn't understand, like, the thing. Because at first I was like, okay, well, like, what are you making now? What are you doing now? And that kind of thing or whatever. But then I really had to kind of catch myself and really kind of be like, well, why don't I feel like she should be run her money? And then when I really thought about it, I was like, everything she's saying is making sense. Like, and then I had to check myself go ahead.
Well, I just feel like I always felt like she was right. I was just like, I'm not boycotting Netflix.
Well, yeah, no, I still stand by that. I'm not boycotting. That's not. I literally have been watching The Great Baking Show on Netflix before that's not happening. But
I'm literally binge watching Queer Eye, and so that's just definitely not happening right now.
Yeah, but it's just
is that a good show?
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But it's just like, I think that I don't know. I just think that she needs to be run her money. Like, she's absolutely a legend. Like, her stand-up is iconic. Like, I mean, she's given us memes such as the hoe jumped out.
Yes.
What is the?
all of that. She's like, "What's your name, sweetie? What's your name, baby?"
I can't remember. There's like
Safari?
a second. Sapphire. No, your real name. Sapphire.
Yes. When you do clownery, the
clown comes back to bite. Thank you. Those two things alone. What has Amy Schumer done?
Right. She's been in the game for over 20 years.
Like running her
not
things.
Amy Schumer, Monique.
Oh, it was like.
I mean, maybe she is. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Like that,
but yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like Monique should be giving her money. I support her. I'll do anything you need me to do, sis, other than boycott Netflix. But other than that, I'm with you. I'm with her.
Like, I mean, and then like let's even get into her gripe, because her gripe is that she was blacklisted in Hollywood after she I guess for the press tours for Precious, I think she was paid $50,000.
I think it was $500,000.
Well, maybe it was $500,000. Either way, it was pennies compared to what it made, and so she wasn't paid very much. Is the point? And then on top of that, she wasn't contractually obligated to do the press tours. Like, they wanted her to fly to Cannes on her own dime.
What?
And so it's just like,
how do you know that information?
Yeah, they wanted her to fly to Cannes to do the press tours, and she said, no, I'm going to stay home with my family, because one, she's not contractually obligated to do that, and two, you're not paying her for it. And that's fair, but at the end of the day, like, black women in Hollywood are expected to do more and accept less. And so that's what she's talking about. That's the whole reason she's talking about this right now, is because black women are devalued. And I think Wanda Sykes came out and said that she was offered even half of what Monique was offered for the Netflix show.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in for a second because those are two different issues, right? And I think I want to get some context to the first one, because, or ask a question, because did you see the conversation that she had with Whoopi Goldberg on The View?
Yeah, Whoopi said that's how, like, tried to give her the "that's how it works" talk. But just because that's how, they said that Whoopi was like, we talked about this before, and Monique's issue is she was like, well, there's always a next time, there's always we'll get them next time. And she was like, I'm tired of that. I want now to be the next time. I want now to be the moment that I get to shine, and the moment that I get to be treated the way that, these white stars are getting treated. And I think the issue with Whoopi is that Whoopi is like so in love with white supremacy, and that's just what it is. Like, I really did love Whoopi before I watched her on The View, and she's always caping for whiteness, like always.
What's weird is like Whoopi Goldberg on The View is so weird. So The View is like my guilty pleasure, and it's like
it used to be mine.
I love her when she's not talking about race anything.
Yes.
And then the moment it's like she's spot on when it comes to anything that's not race. And then you talk about black people.
Well, and sexual assault.
What did she say about sexual assault that was bad? I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh, she's had so many things.
Yikes. Okay, well, let me do my research then. Okay.
She claimed that Roman Polanski, the situation with that 13-year-old girl, wasn't rape because it was statutory rape.
Yikes. Okay,
I mean,
well,
she's said some things.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah. But if we exclude sexual assault and race,
if we're willfully ignorant to those things, I love her. But when it comes to race stuff, it's like whatever. The reason I asked that, Bates, is because I was curious, because she was saying like, well, that's not how it works, and you should have called me and I would have schooled you on how it works. And I've also read people saying things like, well, when you do an independent film and that kind of thing, that stuff is to be expected, even though it's not in the contract. So I don't know. I like that situation. I feel that's a different situation than like the Netflix thing or like
I think that the response to her is definitely a similar thing, because I think that if Monique was not a black woman, I don't think that she would have been treated the way she was treated.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think that she was
like it wasn't even just that she got a bad reputation. Her career stalled.
No, I agree. No, I was gonna say I was just curious to see like I would be curious to know like how that works and like what the inner workings of that is, because I think you're absolutely right, and she's absolutely right as well. And if it's not in your contract, you ain't got to do it. But I'm curious as to why people think that should. I guess I was saying that to say I'm curious as to why members of the Academy think that that's something that's acceptable. If it's not, if it's something you don't have to do, then like why is it not in the contract? Or something that you have to do, why is it not in the contract? I
just love this response because I just want to read it real quick. And so Whoopi said, and we've had this conversation. I said, if you called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected. And Monique responded, and we did have that conversation. And what I said to you, my sweet sister, I said, Whoopi, at what point do we stop saying the next time?
Well,
and Whoopi was like, what next time? And Monique said, if I had done something wrong contractually, they would have sued me. The reason why no one could do anything to me contractually, because they found out I did nothing wrong contractually. Like the thing about like everything that Monique is saying, and people have pointed this out all over Twitter, everything that Monique is saying, like Viola Davis is saying, and people are like applauding her for it. But Monique has, I think the difference is Viola Davis is seen as respectable. While she's a dark-skinned woman, and she does, and obviously, like, I'm not saying that she's treated better, but she is, kind of, because not only is she successful, she's on a television show, she's in movies, and she's highly respected.
And it's also for different things.
And it's also the
like
kind
I said,
of
she's respectable.
Yeah, someone was saying, and I was actually shook when I saw this, saying that it's a shame that Monique is getting this treatment, especially from a lot of black people, because because Monique has never like been shy about hiding her blackness and talking about it. And I guess
and neither is Viola Davis for that.
But it's like different in terms of like the programming that they're doing. Like Monique had like the Parkers, and I was like Viola Davis would never do the Parkers, right? Like
well, I think part of it too is the way that they talk about it. Like I think like when it comes to Viola Davis, she's very careful about the words that she uses, and she's always been like very eloquent and like very calm when she says things. So like I think for people to take it as like this wise older black woman, you know what I mean? Whereas Monique has always been like shit and fuck and da 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 da, and only recently has like, I think she's like actually maybe even taken a page from Viola Davis's book, because she's now being that calm person. And I think that when people see black people, especially black women, they need them to be saying things a very specific way, otherwise they pretend that they can't hear them,
right?
And
then they're
angry.
angry.
Yeah, she's just angry, and then that anger is like, oh, well, that invalidates everything that she's saying, because she's clearly like a bitter, angry, belligerent black woman. So therefore, I don't have to listen to anything she's saying. Whereas Viola is like saying things very calmly, and she's using big words, and so it's like, oh wow, this is like this is one of the good ones. I have to listen to what she's saying,
right?
And so I think that there's a lot of respectability politics at play. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said on Twitter too, I had to catch myself, because I kind of fell into that at first too, where I was like, well. At first, I was kind of into the thing that Charlamagne was saying, where it was like, well, what are you pulling now? And then I really had to catch myself, like, that's not.
Well, she's explained it. She's talking.
I agree with her. That's what I'm saying. I think she should be run her money. I agree with everything you just said. So yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Monique, and like, thank you for being that first woman to like, the first black woman to like really come out and like say it in this way, because a lot of people were like. People were just ready to like crucify her, and I think that she said being the first person to come out and speak about it is like, speak about things is a lonely place, and like I just appreciate her for being that person who does that. I guess, like, despite everything,
I just want to know what we can do to help, because like the way it is now, other than like have the conversation, I don't know like what we can do as individuals to help, and so that's what I think it. Sorry, go ahead. No, that was pretty much it. I just don't know what we should do.
I think part of it is just putting the pressure, because I mean, even Viola Davis, it was funny because it's funny seeing like the difference in reactions, because Viola Davis is actually very recently did a speech. She was like, well, people are saying you're the Black Meryl Streep. And, she was like, if I'm the Black Meryl Streep, well, then pay me Meryl Streep money. Right. Oh, yeah. And she's literally saying what Monique is saying. Like, if you think that I'm this talented, if you think that I'm this great. And she said that the people at Netflix were like, you're great, you're a legend. And she was like, well, if I'm a legend, then pay me a legend's paycheck. Right.
No, I agree.
And no, so I'm just saying that, like, it's just interesting seeing the difference in reactions, because they're both saying the same thing, but it's just funny how people react to it based on who's saying it. Right. And yeah, so yeah, I just thought that was, I just think the way that she's doing it is just hilarious. And I really just shout out to her for handing Charlamagne his ass, because he's always like quick to like uplift a white woman, Tomi Lahren, and then downplay like black women and play them like they're not doing anything. But
would you call your mother a donkey? Would you call your grandmother a donkey?
When she said,
so why would you call me,
madam?
She's like, no, why would you? Oh, life. I love her.
That video, I can watch it on loop. Oprah was actually asked about Monique, and she said that she doesn't give anyone when she sees negative energy, you can't cancel out negative energy with negative energy. Even just a little bit of light can cancel out negativity. Now, she was partially talking about Donald Trump, because he tried to come for her and said that she is insecure, which is funny. He didn't say failing, because nobody could say that Oprah is failing. He loves to use that as an insult. But he said that he'd like to see her run for president or whatever. And really, we don't even need to get into that, because I really don't like talking about Donald Trump, to be honest with you.
Me either.
But anyway, she was talking about him, and she was talking about not Oprah. She's talking about Monique. My thing with, here, I don't know about all the stuff that was going on with Precious and Lee Daniels. I already side-eyed Lee Daniels.
Hold on. Before you start this, do not say anything bad about Oprah and make our podcast fail. I refuse.
First of all, I'm not, okay, first of all, let me...
I'm just saying.
I love Oprah. I do love Oprah. What I'm saying, one thing that she did that gave me pause is when Monique said that her older brother assaulted her as a child, and Oprah had him on her show, and I did not like that at all. I thought that was very unbecoming, to be honest with you, and it made me very uncomfortable. So in that regard, I get why she would be upset towards her, but I don't know anything that's going on with anything else. Anyway, Sam Smith.
Matt Smith. I mean, same shit.
It's all the same.
Whatever. Matt, Sam, Brett,
Brendan.
I don't know.
Yeah. Skylar.
Taylor.
there's a picture of him making out with his boyfriend. I guess you can call that making out. It was very weird. He's like eating his face. I don't even know why we're mentioning this. Do we need to talk about this?
I just wanted to say that picture really made me just want to go expecto patronum, because I was just like, it reminded me of the scene in Order of the Phoenix where there was a Dementor with Harry and Dudley in the tunnel, and Harry had to save Dudley's life. Like, I am worried for their well-being. Like, I can see muscles in his face from sucking his face. Like, why do you need to kiss someone like that? I don't. And to think I used to have a crush on him, I just
It looks like they're doing a shotgun.
What is that?
It's, well, when you're hanging out with your homies, but it's no homo. You smoke when one
I've
person...
only seen gay people do this.
Exactly,
John.
right?
Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I guess you're right.
I've never seen two straight guys doing it. It's when they oh, go ahead, John.
Okay, so a shotgun is when one person inhales from the blunt or from the bowl. You keep the smoke in, and then the other person opens their mouth, and you blow the smoke directly into their mouth while they're inhaling. That's exactly what it looks like. What Sam Smith is doing. It's like, hey, bro, pass me the shotgun, and like
I've always wanted to do that, but Marcus straight edge.
It looks
I think it's really romantic.
It looks like Brandon's trying
romantic.
to eat his face. Like,
It looks weird, but
ugh.
that's life.
Life is strange.
So Monica Lewinsky penned an article. I don't know if you call it an article, like an op-ed, I guess. I don't know. For was it Vanity Fair? And she talks about how she doesn't say specifically who, but she says leaders of the Me Too movement reached out to her and said essentially that like they see her and they see the situation that she was in, and she just said how emotional that was for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was a really good article, and it really talks about her like struggle with how she views the situation that she was in, because if you are not old enough to remember, and actually, if I really want to be real, I really don't remember this either, because I really wasn't like, you know what I mean, like consuming like newspapers and like political shit in 1998.
Yeah, I was in middle school.
I was far more interested in Barney. But yeah, so she talks about like, being a 22-year-old woman when, this affair started with Clinton.
Damn, she was 22?
She was 22. And I forget that.
Yeah.
Like, this is the same thing that happened with Britney Spears, where I just forget how young a lot of the women in a lot of these situations were. It's
because we were young, and then when we thought we thought they were just much older, right?
Yeah.
I remember it. That's how I remember that's how I found out what cheating was. Like,
really?
Because of Monica Lewinsky.
I didn't know what a blowjob was, so I like never really got it. Like I vaguely remember it, but it wasn't something that was like a focus for me.
You know how you said you were listening to Barney? I wanted to give just a really quick iteration of the iconic song. I love you, you love me. Let's get together and share our fleets.
No.
With a great big hug and a squirt from me to you.
No.
Let's all say I clean you too.
You.
The end.
Are you done? Is it over?
Yes. I would like to give my I would like to
episode 45. Thank you for
I just want to thank God for this Grammy. I've been working my whole life for this.
So anyway, back to Monica Lewinsky and what she was talking about. It was very interesting because she was really like getting into just how she's just now beginning to examine like consent and whether she was actually able to really fully give consent, because like she was a 22-year-old intern in the White House, and he was the president of the United States, and he's 27 years older than her. So it was just an interesting read, because she said that she still hasn't processed it, because at the time it was so important for her to like stick to the facts and make sure that her story stayed the same, that she never really examined it. So she was so concerned with making sure that her story stayed the same, that what she knew was what she knew, that she didn't really get the time to examine it and what it meant, and like, you know what I mean, like figure out what that experience really was for her.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because I think this situation and the Aziz Ansari thing have really kind of, I think, brought nuance to the Me Too discussion, whereas before I feel like it's been kind of painted with like a broad, brush. And I think it's really necessary for these kind of conversations to happen, because I think it's really good in terms of education for people as to like what consent really means. And sometimes like it's not black and white when it like situations like this are like not black and white. I don't know. I don't really want to say anything like too
just
much
because
on
it's I get what you're saying. Is just because it's consensual doesn't necessarily mean that it should have happened.
Right. Like it's very, I don't know.
Technically consensual. Yeah.
I don't even want to say like the wrong thing, because I feel like just you have to be very purposeful with the language that you use.
But I mean,
yeah,
we're also human beings that are examining this.
Yeah,
right
girl,
now.
but people can take sound bites.
Words. Yeah, but I just think that I like, and she says like, I don't feel like I was assaulted. She said I feel like it was something that I participated in, but I don't know how much of that was something that I felt like I was ready for. And it's like one of those things where a lot of people who had technically consensual sex with adults when they were teenagers are like at the time they thought it was great, and then they think back on it and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't really think through the ramifications of this, and now I'm dealing with the ramifications of it mentally.
Well, I mean, she definitely had ramifications. Like her career was over. I mean,
like, her life was over. She was
yeah.
everywhere, and she talks about how like her mom was forced to testify against her. Her father's practice. He's a doc. I don't know if he still is, but he was a doctor at the time. His practice was threatened. Her aunt,
that's crazy.
Her business was threatened. Like everyone she was related to, and she relates a story about running into the prosecutor on Christmas Eve here in New York, at a restaurant in the West Village, and she said that she approached him because before she would have ran, but for some reason she wanted to let him know what he did to her family, and he just kind of smiled and was like, "That's too bad," or something like that. Like it was very like flippant, and he was with his family as well. And so she just talks about like, for me, Monica Lewinsky was like a punchline growing up. So I never really thought of her, honestly, and I can be real, I never really thought of her as like a person.
Yeah.
And so it's really like, reading this was just really good. And she attributes it to a Mexican, she calls it a Mexican proverb, and it's not. It's actually from a Greek poet. I forgot his name, but there's this line at the end of the article, and it said they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I love that. Yeah, it's not. It's commonly mistaken as a Mexican proverb for some reason. I don't know why, but it's actually from a Greek poet. And yeah, so I really still loved it. I thought it was a really beautiful quote.
Probably colonization. That's probably why you think that, but I don't know.
Wait, think what?
I said the reason people probably think it's like a Mexican proverb. It's probably because of colonization and shit like that.
Definitely, yeah.
Like some girl on Twitter was like, why aren't there light-skinned people in Wakanda? And someone was like, because when you're not colonized by white people and dark-skinned people mate with dark-skinned people, then you have dark babies. Now, can we enjoy the movie? And I was like, that's not necessarily true, but...
yeah. I will say one... Though, like, I feel like there was a lot of, like, and I rarely get involved in the Black American versus African thing, but a lot of Black Americans like to paint, like, things in Africa as, like, a broad brush, and there are Black light-skinned Africans without, like, being mixed with European ancestry. There are actually people who are just light-skinned.
No, I know. That's what I'm...
Africa. No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just, like, throwing that out there because I don't want people to actually walk away from this thinking, like... You can't be light skinned.
Oh no, I just thought it was funny because they were just like, "Now run along." Like
it was funny because they were like, somebody said, somebody's response is because they're in every other movie.
Well,
ooh. Yes. So, Kevin Federline.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
No.
Apparently, Britney Spears has been paying him $20,000 a month. And child support for their sons.
Let me guess, he wants more.
Damn, $20,000 a month.
20,000, yeah. So, but I guess she is reportedly making $475,000 per show in her Vegas show, and $15 million a year. And so now he wants it to increase so that the children can have a similar life in both homes.
What?
I'm so tired. I'm just so tired of these niggas. Like, first it was Mary J. Blige's husband, and now it's Kevin Federline. Like,
Kevin
get a
Federline.
job. Get a job challenge.
What does he do?
Yep. I don't know. Everyone here got to work. I don't know.
Like, that is, I just like, nigga, you got $20,000
A month.
and they're not even
Right.
with you full time.
That is some people's annuals. You don't have to do anything. Just
Right.
get an apartment in West Hollywood. Be a go-go dancer. Do something. Like, I don't.
Ew, no. Please don't be a go-go dancer.
Girl, people would pay to see Kevin Federline. I'm not
They sure
me.
would.
Huh?
I
all you
don't
have to do
want. I don't
is-
want straight people go-go dancing at our clubs.
But they already do.
But they already do. So hate to
I
break
know.
it
I don't
to
want
you.
any more. I don't want
Santa's
any
not
more.
real.
So, yes. Back into the Me Too movement. We're going to mention that again. Susie Hardy, who is a single mother and a former assistant to, or stylist, excuse me, to Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, I read this.
Has claimed that he has assaulted her on multiple occasions. And honestly, just in case it's triggering for people, I'm not going to go into details about what he has done to her. But I will say that
Trash.
according to Variety, she started working for him in 2006. I guess she met his personal assistant. And so then they became like friends, and then the personal assistant got her a job as a stylist. At first, I think she was just like a general stylist, and then over time she became his personal stylist. Over that period, until 2013, when she was let go, he just assaulted her on multiple occasions, allegedly.
Damn.
And then when she spoke to HR about it, she was fired.
Wow. That's so shitty.
Mm-hmm. So she went to Variety with this. Her and her lawyers went to Variety with this story. Apparently they contacted Ryan Seacrest and his team and E! News and whatever. In E! Back in November. Ryan Seacrest tried to get ahead of it, and he was like, I'm being accused of this thing that I didn't do, and he pretty much outed her. He was like the stylist, and it got to the point where it couldn't have been anyone else. He was so descriptive about it, which I didn't hear about this at the time. I don't know if you guys did. I did not. Did you guys?
I don't care about Ryan Seacrest, so no.
Look, honestly, just as I thought. Trash. And that's all I have to say. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So then I guess allegedly, according to E, they hired an investigator outside of the company who was supposed to be objective about the whole thing, and apparently the investigator found absolutely nothing, no evidence of anything happening. But Variety has spoken to many, some former employees of E, as well as friends of this woman, of Susie Hardy, and they corroborate her statements, basically saying that, at the time they remember her speaking to them about his behavior.
Wow.
She also has a picture of a bruise that she received from something that he did to her, and I don't know, the analytics or whatever, they checked the picture and found that it was taken on the day that she claimed that it happened. So Ryan Seacrest has said something to the effect of, this is something that the climate is calling for. That's not the exact quote, but I don't feel like looking up what he actually said. And it was something to that effect, which also is like, bitch,
Trash.
if you were not guilty, that would still be a horribly shitty thing to say. You're saying that the climate is calling for false accusations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you can read it on Variety. I believe her. And not even just in a you believe all victims, because you do. You should. And believing the victim doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be fuck that person, but you just should always listen to someone who says that they've been assaulted. But based on what I read, and if this is all true, all the things that Variety is saying that they've cross-referenced, I believe that he did this. And I really don't care about him one way or the other. I was a little surprised, I would say. You guys remember that gif of Britney and she's talking to him?
Yeah.
And somebody says, a girl? And she's like, girl? She's shocked.
This whole time
that's
I was thinking, like, isn't he gay?
No.
Yeah, so I mean, not that gay men don't assault women all the time,
Right?
So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I was a little surprised. That was really the only surprising thing about this for me.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thought he was a bottom, but I mean, he dated Julianne Hough or something like that for a really long time. But
yeah. So I have been segue. I've been not a good one at all. But
I was
I've
like,
been
when you
watching
say
Queer Eye.
it. Well, it could. Ryan Seacrest is a great segue into Queer Eye.
Well,
I mean, they kind of. Anyway.
I mean,
but so I went into this wanting to hate it because, like, I don't know. I actually wasn't allowed to watch the original Queer Eye, so it wasn't like I don't know what it's about actually at all. I mean, I assume it's something related to what this new iteration of it is. But I ended up loving it.
I only saw the first episode, but I cried. I was like,
Really?
Oh, wait till
my God,
wait till you get to episode 4. It's about a black gay guy.
like episode 1, I was in tears, and I was like, this dude probably voted for Trump, and I hated it. But like,
oh well, episode 3. I think episode 4 was making up for episode 3 because episode 3 was about a cop who was a Trump supporter.
Okay, so maybe I'll skip episode 3. Episode 1, he didn't say that he voted for Trump, but he just looked.
I just want
like
to drag the cop really quickly who jokingly pulled over the black guy. Fuck
what?
you. That's not funny.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would even fucking think that shit is funny. Like, why would you jokingly pull over a black person? Maybe he didn't know that there was the black guy driving because there's 5 of them. I don't know, but I just thought that was really gross. And
trash.
I just fuck you, Queer Eye, for making me like smile when his family gets to see his house at the end. I was like, I like forgot that they were Trump supporters for a minute, and I was like, oh my God, this is so sweet.
I refused to watch that one.
And I was like, oh no, they're Trump supporters. But episode 4 makes sort of up for it because it's about a black gay guy, and it's like, oh my God, I cried. The ending is so like uplifting, but it's so sad. And I just I mean, the show is a little like, it's a little like heavy-handed and it's a little corny in some ways, but I really I enjoy it. And I'm like on episode I just finished episode 5, so I'm about to go on episode 6.
Maybe
I've been binge watching since yesterday.
Maybe I should take a break from the Great British Baking Show and watch that because
yeah, Jonathan is my favorite, and
Jonathan is amazing.
That white gay.
Is that the hair guy?
Yes,
the white gay. Yes,
yeah,
the long hair. I love him so much. He's so funny, and I love that he's so unapologetically himself. Like he'll be like right up in the middle of bumfuck Georgia with all these rednecks and be like, "Yes, girl,
I love it,
girl."
I hate long hair on guys. I despise it. I don't think
I love long hair on guys.
I despise long hair. Like, oh my God, I hate it with a passion. And I hate man, but I do. But I love Jonathan. I love Jonathan. It is such
much.
the quickest way to get me to leave you is to grow your hair. I like
when he was like, "I'm gonna have a lemonade moment," and walked around in that yellow. Was it a yellow robe?
If it wasn't the first episode, I didn't see it, girl.
Oh, my bad. I love Jonathan. He's actually my favorite. And Tan is fine. Tan is a Pakistani guy, British guy. And his hair is just he actually scares me. Like I don't think I would ever actually like hug him or anything because his hair looks so perfectly like done that I feel like I'd
break him. Like I feel like he's so twinkish. Like I feel like I'd crack his rib cage if I gave him a hug.
He's so cute. He's so cute, and I like his style.
What's the black one's
salt
name?
And pepper hair. Oh, I don't care about.
Why?
I'm just Karomi.
He's fine as hell. What are you talking about?
Really? I don't think so.
So you guys have never seen like the first Queer Eye?
No, because if I did, I would have got a whooping. So
yeah, you know, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the word?
Like I used to sometimes sneak and watch Queer as Folk like on Logo on my aunt's TV.
Girl. That was
but I would
it all.
Yeah, but I would have to like. When I would watch it, I would have to, like, how you would have like when they invented cable boxes, like with the last button, like in the like late 90s, early 2000s, you would always hit last.
You have to change the channel.
I would have to change the channel real quick, but then I would have to turn to something else. So if she hit last, it wouldn't go to Logo. So so I wasn't really allowed to watch it, unfortunately.
I forgot about that.
So like when it was coming back, I thought that Queer Eye was a show where like girls went on dates with like 4 guys at a time and had to guess which one was straight. So that's that's what I thought it was. So I was like, why did this show come back now? That's so problematic.
Wait, that was a show?
Yes. I thought it was Queer Eye, but I guess not.
I'm like, what show is that? Because I need to find out what that is. That sounds really bad.
She went on a date with like 4 gay guys and 1 straight one, and she would have to like guess the straight one or something like that. Or maybe
wasn't
it was
wasn't it like 5 gays, 1 girl or something like that?
Something like that. It was sort of similar to like MTV's Next. I have to find it. I'll find it on Sunday.
No,
I wasn't able to watch Logo at the time, so I can't remember the name exactly.
Days, that show you're talking about is called One Girl's 5 Gays? No, One Girl, 5 Gays.
Something like that.
That show was pretty good, though. That was like, it was conversational about stuff. Kind of like,
I still wasn't allowed to watch that. So.
Maybe we're talking about the same thing. I don't know, but I have to find it.
But yeah, so actually, y'all should watch it. I would recommend it. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
like
I
really
went
into it not wanting to, and it actually ended up getting me. Actually, Kuromo, the black guy, he's fine. Like, but I just but Tan and Jonathan are my favorites.
No, I agree.
Oh yes, so Janelle Monáe dropped two singles and 2 videos.
Make me feel.
I'm just shook at how much. So like, if you don't listen too closely, "Make Me Feel" sounds like a Prince song. Like, if you don't listen too closely, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Prince."
No, yeah, everyone's saying it's a Prince
did
sample,
the music.
And then you listen to it, and it's so distinctly Janelle that
He did the music. He did some of the music before he died.
Wait,
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the way that she even sings, it sounds like Prince.
I thought she sampled Prince.
No,
that's her voice.
That's her voice.
No, not her voice. The instrumentals. Like,
no,
she sampled.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole song.
He didn't sample it. Prince literally worked on that song before he died. Like,
oh shit! I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that's why. Like, it's a Prince.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Prince tribute.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And
you know,
she's like out here being bisexual as fuck in the music video.
That was her whole music video was, "Do you see how fine Tessa Thompson is?" And I was like, "Girl, yes."
Yes.
And she's like, "Don't make me spell it out for you." Oh.
It was like a reverse Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it was like a reverse Lemonade experience. It was just amazing. Like, like, Lemonade was so angry, and this made me like want to be in love and like hold hands and stuff. And I was like, ugh. But I was like, this is great.
This is the best Black History Month in a long time.
Like,
this is a really good Black History Month, and I just love all these Black women just being like, you know what? Here's my truth. Let me speak it. Also, Django Jane is like, I love it so much. The way she's like, moonlight. Nigga,
moonlit nigga, lit nigga.
Yes. And she was like, Django, never Sambo. I was like, come through. Yes, old references. Y'all know what Sambo is, right?
No.
That's a racist black character.
It's and then she also said something like she said got away with murder, no scandal, or something like that. And I was like, yes.
Cue the violins and violas.
Yes, cue the
yes, bitch.
Wow,
she's so
you
smart.
guys really
I've been listening to it.
Dissected this.
John is really like, you Negroes really be listening to her.
No. I just I didn't catch any of that stuff. I was like, oh, this is pretty. That's all.
Wow.
Wow. Do you see how? Wow.
No, I mean, that's how I feel like in general. Like, when I watch music videos, I don't know there's a meaning to them.
I bet.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
What you sis.
We're joking. We love you.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that's a good note to leave this on.
Okay.
Janelle Monáe. That's just the way you make me feel.
Absolutely. Oh my! If we have the clearance, I would play it. But
you know what? Honestly and truly. Is there anything else? Did y'all see the Hurt Bay thing?
No, I don't care. I mean, there is some, but it's not positive.
They did an update on the Hurt Bay. The guy's so garbage.
And she's still with him.
Shout out to the students that dragged Marco Rubio and Dana Loesch, who tried to lie and come out and say that everyone said that as she was leaving, the students and the town people said to burn her. And it's like, girl, this is not 1690s Salem, Massachusetts. Didn't nobody say to burn nobody. They're saying shame on you because you should be ashamed of yourself for pushing the agenda of the NRA. You are a demon straight from hell. And, you know.
Demon, sweetie, I am so sorry. All I got to say is this. If your opinion on all of these issues if your opinion is disagreeing with teenagers who were just going through a school tragedy, maybe that means you're an asshole, and maybe you need to re-examine yourself. That is all.
Yeah.
Anybody want to buy a heart?
Oh,
Just to
girl,
quote,
no.
just to quote Meek Mill.
No, bye. Wow, we gonna end this on an L.
No, wait. I just also wanted to say shout out to the way that student dragged Marco Rubio. And and also fuck everybody who's sending death threats to these kids that just survived a shooting. Like,
oh my god, they're getting death threats?
Yeah, from like NRA stands, gun rights stands. Like, fuck all of y'all. I hope y'all die. And
like the irony and okay, I can't.
Yes, these people are horrible. Like, they have no morals. There's nothing. Like, they don't have any stance, any real stance that they give a fuck about. It's just about bigotry and guns. That's all. So anyway, that's all I gotta say.
Trash.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to end that on a sad note, but shout out by Janelle's Dirty Computer.
Yes. Oh my god, and it's gonna be a visual album, so go buy it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh my god. Bye.
Hello and welcome to the discourse, as we call it, the discourse.
Take your time. Sound it out.
Today, we are talking about adjusting to the adulthood.
Not the
Wait, what?
when he every time he clears his voice like that, I die.
And so fear of aging. Okay, seriously, I was thinking about this because I realized that I do have a fear. It's not something I really think about like every day, but when I become aware of my age, I'm very much like, bitch. And I've always felt like this. And this is this is really weird. I felt like old since I was like 10. And I've never wanted to like I've never really wanted to like get older. Like, I remember when I was like 9, or 8, I like started panicking because I was like, damn, I'm 2 years away from double digits. And when I turned 18, I was like, oh my god, like, what do I even do now? And then, when I turned 20, I was like, oh my god, I'm not even a teenager anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's just been like a constant thing. And I think part of it is, for me, I don't know what it was when I was 10. I think I did have, like, for the most part, I mean, homophobia aside, I think I did have like a pretty decent childhood,
Oh, yikes.
And,
okay.
no, I do. Like, I think I was actually pretty spoiled in a lot of other regards. Like, obviously, like, it would have helped if I had been accepted for who I was. But,
Shit, I wish I had like a violin sound effect.
But like in terms of like, I never really needed anything that I wasn't getting other than acceptance and love for myself. But I was loved in the way that my family thought was sufficient. Because they did love me and they still do love me, but I think that they still, or at least at the time, I think that they felt that there was a part of me that could be changed instead of being loved. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about the fear of aging. So, but like I said, generally speaking, like, my childhood was, for the most part, it was actually good. And like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, yes, our sexuality, like, affects the way that our life goes, and it affects us, but it doesn't necessarily define who we are. And I think overall I did have a good childhood because, like, obviously my sexuality was a part of that and my gender expression was a part of that, but it wasn't like, it didn't define my childhood. So,
But I was gonna say, what about aging specifically?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was
getting
like,
there.
so about the topic.
I know. I'm taking a long way there, but I'm getting there. And so I think part of that was where I was at. That was why I like did not want to grow up, because I was like, oh my god, being a kid is amazing. And it's funny because everybody else was like, oh my god, I can't wait to grow up. And I was like, no, what, you tripping, bitch? This is good. We live it. And so I think 18, I think that was the point where I was like, it became a fear. I think it became less like, I'm afraid of adulthood and more, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I want to say about 2021, it became, well, I haven't done enough. And so I think I always feared aging, but my reasoning for it has changed over the years. And so I think now part of it is like accomplishments. It's also like the fetishization. There we go. I got it. Of youth and, you know, gay culture, I think has a lot to do with it as well, because, you know, like there are some people that are like, oh, you're 25 or older. Wow, that's really old, you know? And no, but there are people that like, there are literally people who don't hang out with anyone over the age of 25 or over the age of 30, or won't date anyone over the age of 30, no matter how far past 30 they are. And so like I think that's a little bit of a part of it, but I think a huge part of it is like where I'm at professionally is not where I'd like to be. And so I think that a huge part of like my fear of getting older is that, like, you know, sure, I could be older and be in the place that I'm at now, and that's how I try to tell myself to look at it. But I'm where I'm at now, and I'm at the age that I am now, and I don't feel like I'm far enough along. And I see other people, and like to name someone, Rakeem. I see Rakeem and all that he does, and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, he's like really doing it, and he's a year younger than me, and he's like already, you know what I mean, making moves in his career in a way that I am still trying to get to. And it's not specifically just you, Rakeem, but it's just like a general thing where like I see people that are my age or around my age or younger than me, and they're doing things that I'm not doing, and I'm just like, fuck, like, what am I doing? And so I think that's a huge. But that goes into the comparison thing, which I think will be a thing later on.
I was gonna say, like last episode, I think Curly was saying we should like not compare our experiences to each other's, because it's just not fair to ourselves.
Well, it's not even just that too, though, but it's like my definition of success. Yeah. You know, and I know that success is something that we should always be chasing. I think it's like, again, it's a multifaceted reason. You know, it's not just any one reason that I think I fear aging, but I think that a huge part of it is that, you know, I'm not where I feel that I should be. And part of that has to do with me comparing myself to other people, but part of that just has to do with my own perception of what success is and at what point I should be achieving that type of success. And I don't feel that I'm at that place that I want to be, and the place that I thought I would be, you know, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like when you're, you know, when you're 20 and you are like, oh, 25, I'm going to have it together. I'm going to be that bitch. You know what I mean? Whereas now, and you know, and I never learned, and clearly I never learned, because right now I'm like, bitch, when I'm 30, I'm going to have my shit together. But, you know, it's just like, you know, I think that's part of it. And I think it's like, that's really what it is. Adjusting to adulthood, not feeling like I'm doing adulthood right. I'm not adulting correctly and properly. And feeling like I should have things together that I don't. And so I think that that's that fear of like, I fear, I just feel like I'll never have it together. And that's, I guess, the fear.
And that's okay. So a lot of people don't have it together. Everyone is, I think the secret to adulthood is everyone is just winging it. And like, by the time you realize it, like you made it to adulthood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or maybe you're dead. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Hello, darkness, my friend.
Okay, what about y'all?
Do you want to go first, John, or?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think about age every day because, specifically aging. Because I'm a nurse and I work in the hospital, and so it's funny because when I'm not there, I think like, I think, oh, 30, or back when I was 20, I was like, 30 is old. And then now that I'm 30, I'm like, man, 40 is so old. But then when I'm doing like, I look at it from a medical approach, which is why I think about age all the time. 40 is really young in the hospital. 50 is really young in the hospital. And, 60 is kind of young because like, if you have a fracture or like a stroke in any of those ages, like chances are you're going to rehabilitate faster. But when you like, as soon as you walk in, like I do rounds with doctors, and as soon as you say the diagnosis and the age, like person had a stroke or person had a fracture, and we're like, oh, how old are they? And they go 80 years old. And we're like, shit. Because the likelihood of coming back from that, like jumping back to your baseline activity is like really low. If we found out like, oh, someone had a fracture at 40, we're like, oh, that's fine. They're going to walk out of here. But when they're 80, and 90, like, they got to start planning with the family and like, hey, you might not have your grandma back home. Like things might not go well. Like, and so the way I look at age now is like from a hospital perspective, like I am so young. Like I'm 30 and I felt like kind of like what Bates was saying earlier, like, man, when I'm 30, I'm going to have everything together. But now that I'm 30, like I am so young, like, and I don't have it together. Like as when I compare myself to everyone else I'm at work with and I'm like, and that's okay. And that's what I was saying earlier, Baze, about, I guess, adulthood, because I'm a little older. I can say that even my coworkers, even adults now, are just winging it. Like no one knows what insurance is. No one's ready for things. Like I talk to these families and I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, if your grandma can't come back home, do you guys have any family, or like where can she go? Do you guys think she can go to a rehab center or a long-term living? And everyone just looks at each other like, we don't know, and they're like, they're like well into their 60s. They're like, that's our mom. And like, we're 6 years old. Like no one has a plan. No one's ready. And it's just like, and they're just kind of shrugging like, and that's okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, so my fear, I guess long story short, my fear medically is like, whoa, I don't want to get old because I can't like recover fast, or if I can't wipe my own ass, I don't want to be that person. I just like, let me go, But I think if I take it out of a medical standpoint, like, God, I'm so young, or like I'm also at the same time I'm so old. Like when I was 20, I thought I would, I'm never going to be 30 and like still clubbing at like 2 a.m. and here I am clubbing at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, and like looking for an after hours, even like, oh, can we stay out longer? Like, and I thought that when I was younger, I thought a 30-year-old doing that was trash. And here I am like doing exactly that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to judge any older people anymore, because as we get older, we just end up doing the things that we said we'd never do.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, John, because, sorry, were you finished?
No, I mean, like, I was also going to say, like, when I was younger, I was a little snooty. Like, I would look at someone like when I was 18, I was thinking, I'm never going to be that 21-year-old who like throws up at drinking, like, and then when I turned 21, I was throwing up, and then I look at a 30-year-old and I'm like, I'm never going to be that person. And so I feel like I've been saying that for so many years, but now I've learned that I will never say that I'm never going to be that person, because when I reach that age, like, things don't go according to plan, and if you end up being that person, that's okay. Sorry, I was kind of ranting.
No, that was great.
No, girl, that's literally the point. Like, no, I mean, so I find that really interesting listening to you guys, because I'm actually kind of the opposite of y'all, which is why I asked you to go first, because aging has always excited me, to be honest with you. Like, I get called. I mean, I feel that this term is kind of corny, but I get called it all the time, and I do kind of agree with it. Like, I get called I'm an old soul all the time, and I get a lot of times that people think that I'm older than I actually am. So I'm actually the youngest on the show, and I'm 25, and it's like I'm really excited about the prospect of turning 30, because I used to be very much kind of based how you were, like, I don't have my shit together, like I'm worried about like what's going to happen, blah 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 blah. But I kind of started to look at it like, instead of me not having my stuff together, just think of all the stuff that I can do within 5 years. And then I try to go, okay, well, I have the potential to do all of this as long as I, work towards it, I guess. And also, I don't know, I don't know if this is just something that's like in my family, because my mom, like my dad is like was 24 years older than my mom, and like, people in my family always date older, but I love older. Like I don't think I've ever seriously dated someone or liked someone that has been younger than me. I don't like the prospect of dating people that are younger than me.
This is another discourse, by the way, and we need to talk about being ageist. Sorry, keep going.
Is that ageist?
No, I mean, yeah, because if I was, I'll try not to get into it, but if I was a younger person, I am a younger person, and someone who's like 20 years my senior asked me if I would date someone their age, and I'd be like, no, and they asked me why, and I'd be like, and I would probably say something ageist, and if they called me that, I would just have to accept it, because anything I say would come off as ageist.
I don't get. I mean, maybe that is the discourse.
I don't agree with that, but I think
because I don't think that that's
about. Yeah.
Because for me, it's just like, I don't know. I connect with, I'll say it like this. It's not that I don't connect with younger people. I just happen to connect with people who like things that I happen to like. And most of the times it has happened to be older people, right? And so even when I was younger, like growing up, the adults were always able to do things. Like the adults were able to, like, even when I was like a kid, looking at older kids, like, for example, when I was in daycare at my aunt's house, like, the kids that were like 13 and teenagers, they were able to go outside and, not sleep during nap time. Like,
haven't you met someone you thought was older than they actually were because they acted like the age you thought they were? Does that make sense?
I'm that person all the time. People at my job constantly think I'm like 28, 29, and I'm not. And it's like, but I've met people like that. Yeah. And I've also met people who I thought were like, I thought, John, I told you when I first met you, I thought you guys were younger. So
thank you.
So
Yeah, I thought Renee was like 20. I was like, oh, he's a baby.
Yeah, I thought Renee was like maybe a year older than me. So, and I'm not about to out how old Renee is. That's Renee's story to tell. But like, but yeah, so it was just kind of like, I've always looked up to that, like, oh, like age is something to respect. And I think in a lot of cultures, especially POC cultures, like they always say like, respect your elders, respect your elders, respect your elders. Yeah. So to me, it was always something like, it was always a milestone to look forward to. Like when I was a teenager, I wanted to be 16 so I can drive. When I was 16, I wanted to be 21 so I can drink, and then it was just stuff like that. And so I've always kind of looked at age as like, oh, this is something that I'm like really proud of. One, because I have all this experience, but two, like I'm also like getting life experience and I get to do like these different things.
So you're like anticipating growing, like you're really excited about growing older.
Well, that's what's weird, because like yes and no. Like on one hand, I feel like I'm operating in this bubble, right, where I feel like people always tell me, oh yeah, 30's the year where you come into yourself and you're supposed to be like so full of self-acceptance. And then a lot of people in 30 are like, who said that? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I like, what? I actually get that, because I think about like the way that I like, I'm one of those people that constantly is like, wow, like if I was where I'm at right now, like 5 years ago or whatever. And I think about that with my writing. I think about that with this show. And then I'm like, well, who would I have done the show with 5 years ago? You know what I mean? Like if we had met 5 years ago, we would be very different people from the people that we are today. And I don't know that we would have worked doing this show 5 years ago.
You would have hated me 5 years ago. I was a coon.
Yeah.
So it was.
I was like the biggest social justice warrior you would ever meet. Like I was like annoyingly like, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Like I am
so
so
you would
happy.
not have liked me either.
No, because listen, I'm so glad Twitter was not a thing 5 years ago, because the stuff I was saying was
but we just weren't on
it.
Well,
we weren't on it. It was trash. Like I remember at one point I had told my mom, like, well, if that nigga didn't want to get shot, he should have pulled up his pants. Like it was bad. Like,
oh my God, you said that?
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like I remember one time I came home and I was like, Mom, I don't think gay people should get married. My friend said I'm a Republican, and she was like, who raised like this? You're not my son.
Wait. This might be like kind of I don't know, question of color, but since we're on the topic, if you could give yourself, like, say, 5 years ago, how old were you guys? Well, if you could give your 5 years ago self some advice.
I was 21.
Oh, I was going to say, you guys don't have to out your age, but...
Oh, I told them I'm 20.
Well, same. I would be 20.
Okay, so your 21-year-old self, or whatever your old self, what would you tell them now? Like, what have you learned within the last 5 years?
I would say, don't be scared to ask for money. Your time is worth money. Don't do things for free, and stop hating yourself.
I would say stop dreaming and start doing.
Word.
Oh, you guys.
Because I've always been a dreamer, but it's only more recently that I've been able to translate that into like actual action, and yeah, I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah. So, what about you, John?
Well, I kind of have this like reoccurring one that I'm telling myself 5 years ago, but I also told myself yesterday because I told you guys the story of what I did yesterday and how weird I felt. And so I guess my advice to 5 years ago, John, would be stop settling for crumbs, because I think you deserve the whole meal and then some.
Yes.
You know, like all these years I've always been settling for seconds or like whatever's left over because I thought that's what I deserved. But
it's not what she deserves.
And now, yeah, and like, and now I'm like, hey, shit.
Are you okay?
Sorry. Yeah.
Drop
sorry.
the mic.
Oh, girl.
Well,
I'm just.
Are you still there, sis?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was on the edge of my table and I'm like very animated right now. I'm like talking and I like.
Y'all getting a live blooper.
oh, that's funny. I'm not editing that out either. That's great.
God. Okay, I don't even know what I was saying. Okay, wait. Yeah, so just stop settling for crumbs, 5-year-old John. You'll
For what?
For crumbs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I heard
Stop
something
settling
else.
for crumbs.
You heard
And
comes.
Yes.
Stop settling for crumbs?
Yeah, I was like,
I hate that word, for the record.
I mean, that's the goal, honestly. Okay.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't finish my point, but I just wanted to say, like, I think that I'm learning that too now. I think I'm starting to learn that, you know, things are happening for me and I'm learning things at the age that I was supposed to learn them, which doesn't make it any easier when I'm in, like, you know, when I'm in a depressive mood and I feel like, damn, I should have been here, like, you know, like I said, 5 years ago. But I'm like, I think I don't know. And maybe this is me maturing. Maybe this is my brain finally, like, you know, your brain is supposed to fully develop in your mid-20s. It actually doesn't fully develop until you're like 24, 25. Maybe I'm just a year late. But I finally, I'm starting to feel like there's ways in which I'm starting to check myself, and there's ways in which I think I'm thinking things through in a more healthy way. And I'm taking a more healthy look at the way that I view myself and my life and my situation. And I just see myself growing. And so, like, I think part of what's been helping me, though I still have momentary fears of aging, I think what's been helping me a lot is recognizing that I had to live the life and the years, whatever, to get to the point that I'm at now, mentally and, you know, professionally. So
that's a word. I feel like these discourses for the last like 3 weeks have just been so profound. Like, we had Curly on last week, and just, I mean, I'm still thinking about that. Like,
I was like in the gym, like Tanisha again, like one tear
like, wow,
down my face, like, wow.
Yeah, I was talking to Curly this week, and I was just like, "Do you realize that you snatched all of us bald?" Because and Curly's just like, "Oh, you know, it's nothing but light and loves. I love you guys. Like, I'm lighting incense for you." And I'm like, it's great.
I was watching his story, and it was like lighting incense and hoping that, I don't know, giving it up to like
the wind spirits.
I don't know. It was like something very earthy, and I was like, I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. We might be working on something else soon. Who knows?
Oh, what?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Gonna leave us a little teaser.
I normally don't do that, but you know, we'll see.
Wow.
All right.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that it's kind of like a good thing, and in terms of like aging, and it could be something really exciting. But Baze, what I wanted to ask you really quick was, like, did you ever feel that like being black kind of impacted the way that you thought about aging? Because for me, like, I've always joked about, like, with guys I date, like, if I date someone that's not black, I always go, oh my God, I'm gonna look like this for 20 years, and you're gonna be wrinkled and old and whatever. Not to be ageist, John, but
I don't think of it in relation to. Actually, I don't think of it in relation to race. I think of it more in relation to my sexuality. Actually, now that I'm older, I think that I feel like I got such a late start in life on, like, just getting to be myself. I think that's I didn't even think about that until right now, but I think that's a huge part too. I feel like I didn't get started, like, I wasn't sexually active until after I was 18, and I didn't like go to the clubs or any of that stuff until after I was like 22, 23. So like I really didn't get to be in the gay scene, and like I see kids now, like 18, teenagers, you know,
right?
like,
yeah.
I hear stories about like teenagers sneaking into gay bars, and I'm just like, I wish I had gotten an experience. Like I think I still regret the expectations that queer as folk gave me when what's the blonde gay comes out and he's like
Brian.
17 and he's just like, yeah, Brian. I think I still regret that. So I don't really think of it in terms of race. I think it more of a sexuality thing. Yeah,
I would agree with that. But what's funny, I never had the urge to be like, oh, I want to go out and like go to the clubs and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff is always giving me anxiety, which is why I get called old all the time, because it's just like, because today, literally, you know what I did? I literally sat down, I made a bowl of Honey Bunches of Oats, and I watched the Great British Baking Show all day. And it was the first time I had like in weeks where I wasn't doing anything.
Should I watch that?
I think it's
really
amazing.
Cute. I like
it's
it.
great.
Maybe I'll
Like,
start watching that.
It's
They're
low-key
so
stressful.
nice to each other.
When it's so stressful. Like when they don't be like heating their ovens and stuff like that. Though you're like, girl, you have to prove the bread, like the dough, sis. What are you doing? Like it's great.
But, like, it's a competitive show where the competitors aren't shitting on each other. Like I've never seen.
It's like a reverse Flavor of Love experience. You know,
like they're all very supportive.
yeah. But anyway, that's what I like to do. Or like I don't know, like you guys know, like for my birthday and stuff, we don't ever go out to bar or clubs. We go like we just have it at my house, like and that kind of thing, because it's just like that's just never been me. So it's been really interesting hearing people talk about how that's something that they wish that they would do. And I'm wondering, like when I get older, is that something that I'm going to regret, doing?
I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think it's up to personality. Like, if you've never been like, oh my God, let's go wild. Like, we've gone out to WeHo and we've done like bars and Silver Lake and whatnot, and we've had a good time, but you've never, even when we're in those spaces, you've never been the wildest person. So, like, I don't think that that's something that you, like, would regret. I think it's something I regret because y'all know how I be when I go out. Y'all know I'm wild as fuck and off the walls and taking my shirt off and dancing on stage and shit. So that's the kind of person I am, and I am a party animal. So I regret not being able to experience that party side of things when I was at the age when, everyone's first experiencing that. And again, that's a comparison thing. So, yeah.
Can I make a comparison thing really quick?
Yeah.
I wish I knew about being able to identify as a non-binary person as a younger person. Like, if I would have known that it was okay to be this person at a younger age, like, I can't imagine how I would be now, because I don't know if I'd be more extra or, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I was allowed to be that person back then, like, allowed to not identify as, like, a regular cis man, like, a couple years ago, I feel like the word I'm looking for is like free, a little more free. If I was that person now, I'd be like, whoa, I'd be like flying by now, but now I feel like I'm still taking off. Does that make sense?
No, it
that
does.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of people are going to relate to that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Well,
I guess we're going to...
beautiful moment.
All right, a beautiful moment for a beautiful discourse. So we're going to end the program there. We are going to move on to the next section. With that, we will see y'all in the Mail of Color. All right. Hello.
Hello. Oh.
Hello.
What are we doing?
It's me. No, I keep thinking, as we're doing these voices, I keep thinking about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and how Lily Potter, every time like the Dementor gets near Harry Potter, she's like, Harry. I'm like, girl, who's dying like that? Like, bitch, you out here trying to let us know you a soprano. Ain't nobody dying to protect their son. They out here giving us vocal runs.
And she's like, go. And it's like,
Harry. I was like, okay.
oh, wait, what is it saying? She's like, let go. Harry, let go. It's like, okay.
Oh my God. And she's not even saying it. She's singing it. Harry, let's go.
Let it go.
Let's go. Doom, 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 doom.
Oh, I was like, what song is he doing? I was like, that's
No,
not
I don't
Frozen.
know. I'm
I
just
was
like, she's just breaking out into song, and I just expect there to be like a disco track after or something.
Got it.
Anyway, we've got an update from one of our trash bag listeners.
Oh, is this about the white three-way? Oh
No.
Oh, because
this is from Titus and Dramadant, who was experiencing that weird living situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Sacramento, right?
Sacramento. So they said, "Hey, trash bags, thanks for reading my letter about the housing dilemma. Before I heard your response, I was already in the process of lining up a plan B."
Yes, come on,
Queen
plan
of
B.
Proactivity.
Come on.
proactivity.
There's a club. Okay, wait. There's actually a club in Madison, Wisconsin called Plan B, a gay club.
No.
It's always dead every time I go though. And all the gays actually wear like they always wear like the boat shoes with no socks and like the like pink fuchsia shorts with like the button ups.
Oh my
What
god.
kind of place is this?
They all looked like.
I'm gonna call my
Anyway.
I'm gonna call my daddy's lawyer on you, head ass. Okay, bye.
Yes, exactly. However, I have a minor update that I thought you'd find interesting. Shortly after I wrote to you, I was sitting at the dining table minding my own business when my other 19-year-old white roommate came over and asked if I would listen to him rap. Okay, so that would have been it.
Wow.
I've just been like, you know what? I'm gonna pass. Thank you. No.
Hell no.
He's like,
After I got my eyes back in place from rolling to the back of my head, he proceeded to spit his unintelligible shit, which I
no.
paid attention to.
No.
One thing, like, give me the confidence of a mediocre white man.
Oh,
honestly, truly.
speak on it.
Please.
One thing that I did hear him say, however, was the N word.
No.
Oh no.
Shit.
Okay.
The story just keeps getting worse.
Yes, he would have got cut.
Kill them all.
That's not at all. But anyway, I was shocked and silent after he finished his shitty rap, and he could tell that I wasn't in the best mood. He asked me if I was having a bad day because I always take a long time to process my thoughts and feelings. I said that I was just tired. Needless to say, I will be giving him some fearless feedback once I come up with the most eloquent way to tell him that he's a dumbass.
Oh my
On a
god.
lighter note,
That's like that Uma Thurman video. Like, I'm gonna wait till I process when I'm not angry.
on a lighter note, that same night I contacted someone about an open room in their apartment. I just met up with her yesterday and found out that she's a lesbian that is closer in age to myself that loves to cook healthy food.
Won't he do
My
it?
move-in date.
Come on, queer
My move-in
spaces.
date is March 1st.
Yes.
Oh my god, yay! That's so exciting.
Thanks again for your advice. The passion and vulnerability you all put into this podcast every week is so powerful, and you should all be very proud.
Aw.
Even though the show has turned me into a kid from how I feel listening to podcasts like Color Meme from your Instagram, it has helped me during my adjustment to my new home. P.S. You should do live shows. Come to the Bay.
Oh,
Warm
that
regards.
is such a sweet letter. Sorry.
It said warm regards, and they said I was promised there would be hot tea, and that's a picture of Mariah Carey drinking tea.
Yes.
That's so
That-
funny.
Wow.
Yes,
I'm glad you
rest
got
to
out
you,
of that
sis.
because I
What
would
a
have the
happy
Dracarys,
ending.
all of them.
Wait, can I say, as someone in the male body who is queer and is a ex roommate who was a lesbian, it's a really great experience. Like, my lesbian roommate was so fun. But one anecdote story I have to tell you is that when you're sleeping on the couch, before you reach under the couch to think you're going to look for the remote, make sure you look and actually see it's a remote, because it could be a dildo.
I feel like that can happen with gay
That's
roommates
true of the gays,
too.
too.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that is also true. But
I
was
feel like that can
you're-
happen living with you.
I mean,
Right?
no, I'm very meticulous about my stuff. But anyway.
Oh.
She's like, I don't leave my dildos
Yeah.
just anyway.
No, in fact, it's still in me. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Girl.
No, I was gonna say it was just really it's fun because it's a fun queer experience. You know, you get to just like be who the fuck you want, and it's a lady, but in the queer, like, it's just different. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're recording with a dildo in you is what you're saying?
I mean,
So anyway,
Just, girl, that's going to be the preview this week. I'm just going to do that. And then instead of another face, I'm going to put a dildo in John's mouth.
welcome to Trash Bags of Color. My name
Okay.
is John. I currently have a dildo
So-
inside me.
so from Array, they say sending love all the way from Malaysia. Oh, come through Malaysia.
Wow, listeners in Malaysia.
Huh?
No, I said listeners in Malaysia.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry. My name is Ray from Kuala Lumpur. Your show has definitely woke up every single one of my 22-year-old entitled millennial brain cells. Being a mixed race gay Asian from a relatively conservative country, I cannot thank you guys for the enlightenment from every episode. Probably the best gift my gay ass can ever receive from stalking my Insta-gay crush, the ever fabulous John. Oh,
What? Okay.
yes, from Malaysia. Get that international gig, honey. I want to honey roast my friend Aaron on his outrageous sketching talent because it is 125 times better than all the memes and basic bitches posts on my newsfeed. Truly blessed to know you, and God bless you on that melancholic gay Pisces heart. All the best to you and your family.
Melancholy gay.
Okay, so this is all about. These are reference to Give Me That. The first question is in reference to Give Me That Cack, episode 42. That King of Color. And the second one is about friendship. So the first one is, I almost broke into tears hearing Z Dick's Kiss last week with the heated exchange between Renee and Bass, which reminds me of several RuPaul Drag Race Untucked episodes.
Aww.
While I totally get both sides of the coin, I still think kink as a form of PDA will definitely raise some eyebrows. Anyway, here are just some of my personal thoughts on the topic. That's definitely a line between public kissing and public BDSM play. Public kissing from two gay men might irk someone, but from a third-person point of view, it's still done by two mutually consenting adults. But BDSM play looks like there's an element of inferiority in that interaction, and although it's consensual, it won't be interpreted that way by a naked eye, i.e. a kid. I think that's why kinks like BDSM, bestiality, coprophilia. Ooh, no, I don't know what that is. Coprophilia?
Don't need to know what it is. Keep going.
I need to look this up.
Or even dom sub are controversial because the act of consent seems to be absent, and it doesn't just seem to be logically possible for a person to willingly engage in it. So I don't think finding gay kissing disturbing is the same level of getting mortified by kink. I don't know if I agree for the same reasons. I agree with your final point because obviously I said that, so I agree with it. But I don't know if I think that I don't know.
You took a different road to get there, but we still arrived at the same destination. Yeah.
And then for their friendship matters question, I have a relatively small group of gay friends, 4 actually, which share very different views from myself. I realize the only common denominator of us is that we like dicks, and that's basically it. We do share stories,
valid.
Get dinners, and do the usual hangouts, but it seems that discussing life matters create too much tension for the kiki.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes, that yikes, because I can imagine not having conversations with y'all about, shit.
This sounds real familiar for me. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, yikes. Sometimes it came off as shade, but some are just downright harsh disagreement. From career choices to lifestyle options, I can't seem to fit into that part of the cliche and would rather keep it to myself. Instead, I find more similarities from some of my straight childhood friends whom I have not come out to. However, we can only keep the discussion on the surface because telling them about my gay lifestyle will no doubt be a detriment to the relationship which I hold very dearly. Soon it came off as me being straight passing that I do not fit in with my gay friends, and I never like that remark on me. I understand friendship takes time and understanding, but it gives me anxiety that I have no one to pour my heart out to. I tried looking for other gay friends, but in a conservative country with minimal gay LGBT visibility, apps are pretty much exclusively reserved for hookups. I want to ask, do you guys ever have an adult phase with, I think that's what they're saying. Did you guys ever have an adult phase without LGBT friends? If so, how did you deal with it? Or do you think it's possible for an LGBT person to have no LGBT friends? Thanks again, Trash Bags of Color. Can't wait till next week. Sincerely from Sensate Withdrawal Patient 34. Hooray.
Wow.
I feel like that just spoiled me for second season, but that's okay. Yeah, I've actually definitely had a time period where I only really had straight friends. And it was terrible, and I will never do it again.
Aww.
No, because I think that I don't know. I feel like you guys spoiled me being my friends because I'm so used to being able to go to y'all and talk to y'all about really anything. And although you might get dragged, it's always out of love. And I just feel like we all really get along, and we all have I don't even want to say similar politics, but we're empathetic to other people. So take that as you may. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't really know. And honestly, we just kind of met I don't know. I mean, we just kind of met through Tumblr, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like part of this question is, so are they saying that how to deal with,
yeah, I guess they're saying I guess the question is, have you ever not? And do you think that it's possible for a person who's a member of the queer community LGBTQ community and not have friends from that community?
Yeah.
It's definitely possible.
It's possible.
What do you want to do with that is the question.
It's possible, but I think that it's possible. God, how do I say this without exposing my own business? It's possible, but I think that those people that do that are kind of like yearning to have those kind of relationships because at the end of the day, like you're trying to learn. And I feel like some people that come out, not all, are trying to really learn about the community, and straight people won't really offer you that. So I've found that people that I know that kind of freshly come out really want to surround themselves with that. I knew once I came out, I didn't want to be around straight people. I was like, y'all are the devil and you can all burn in hell. Like the moment I posted my coming out letter. So
I like tolerate straight people like because I have to. And I do have some straight friends, but I not in a heavy abundance.
Yeah, I can count my straight friends on one hand. Like I don't.
Huh.
What about
y'all? Still straight in 2018?
Yeah, I don't. Everyone's gay at this point. Like I forget sometimes that they're straight people. Like I really do.
I do,
wow.
And I like it that way.
This is a whole other discourse.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with straight people, and I don't mind having straight friends. But like, why? I don't know. When you have the option, why would you want to have the majority of straight friends?
Because I
like it reminds me. I think it reminds me of like when it's like it reminds me of those girls that are like, I'm not like other girls. I just don't get along with other girls. I'm just a guy's girl. And that's what I think of when I like meet gays that don't have any other gay friends.
Yeah.
Not that that's you, but I'm just saying that's what I think when I meet other gays that are like that.
But it sounds like you want to actually, expand and have gay friends that aren't like trash. No offense. So,
well, I don't know if it's trash. I don't know what they mean by they don't agree on things, because it sounds like this person is saying that their friends are like stereotypes and they don't want to be stereotypes too, which gives me a little pause, to be honest with you. But
that's low-key homophobia.
No, I was gonna say
I don't know
this experience. I mean, you guys know some people I am in circles that I'm in sometimes. Trying to be really diplomatic, but you know that like I can sort of relate to this because I have queer friends that like I'm in queer spaces, like, and it's not the same conversation as if when I'm hanging out with you guys. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like with you guys, I could talk to about anything. And then when I go to this other like gay space, I'm like, I would rather be with like my straight friends who get it than like be with like the gay friends who don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I kind of see where this person's coming from. Like, oh shit, like it's cool that they're also queer, but the conversation is very... So it's like almost like you have to weigh it out kind of thing. Like
well, I'm curious to see like if...
I just wonder what they mean by stereotypes.
Yeah, specific
That's where I'm,
examples.
like, concerned. Yeah, that's what I would have liked more of, because I feel like I can't tell if you're saying I don't like, I don't like people who act too gay, or I can't tell if you're being like, oh, well, these people that I'm hanging out with are vapid and I can't like have real like conversations with them in that regard. So I don't know what you mean by stereotype. But yeah, I honestly, you can have straight friends, but I don't know why you.
Yeah, I don't know why would you.
Friends over gay friends, to be honest with you.
No, unless.
Good luck with that, sis.
So yeah, okay. Well, we have another.
We love you. Thank you for writing into us. No, but we really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for writing into us. Let us see, because I actually didn't think we would have time for a.
We can do one more.
We can do one more. Okay, let's see.
One more.
Okay, this is a honey roast of us, so I will respond. We will respond to that privately.
But thank you for honey roasting.
There's another person, Erica, who's saying that we need to go to Austin. Enjoy the nightlife. Okay, well, Erica, listen, if you can find somebody to pay for our tickets.
I was just about to say, y'all got some Austin money. Y'all got some live show money.
Austin daddies. Is there an Austin daddy that would like to sponsor?
Yes, corn fed.
I mean, I've been to Austin once. They have really good steak options.
They're suggesting that we present at SXSW.
South by Southwest?
Is that what that's called? I guess they have a...
You've never heard of a South by Southwest space?
I have not.
Really?
It's like their version of Coachella, but bigger.
Oh, they have this. They linked to this article and it says, "Bring your podcast to South by Southwest in 2018."
Oh my god, let's do it!
Yeah, I mean, we missed the deadline because it was October 22nd. maybe 2019. Yeah, thank you, Erica. I'll actually look into that because we are actually looking into
That's really flattering for someone to say that we should go to South by Southwest, by the way. So thank you. That's very flattering. It's a compliment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Thank you so much for suggesting.
It's like we just started a band and someone said, "You guys should perform at Coachella."
Right.
I mean, and that's the second one we got. Somebody said we should be in the Bay Area. Well, one of us is, so shout out to Renee. This person said, "You discussed this briefly before, and I was wondering if you can revisit and further discuss how you guys navigate through the expectations of others about success. I'm in my 30s, and while I think I've made the best out of what I've dealt with, the thought of comparing myself to others in the standard of success," I'm just laughing because this is literally who we just talked about, and it's just funny that I happen to be reading this. The society has put us on sometimes. The standard of success the society has put on us sometimes still creeps in and gets to me. Like I have a house, career, and family at certain age types of expectations. Please tell me that I'm not the only one who thinks these expectations, especially the house, mortgage, and family, are pretty ridiculous considering today's cost of living.
Right.
Thanks for getting together and discussing the topics that hit the QPOC community directly. I mean, yeah, I think we kind of touched on that. Definitely, a lot of them are just unreachable. Like, I could have a house maybe if I lived, in a small town, but I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not giving up the access to queer spaces and QPOC spaces.
Why did I think you were going to say access to dick? I don't know why.
Oh my god, Rakeem.
I mean, shit, I would be getting rid of my access to dick too because Mark's not moving to no small ass town.
Wow.
And yeah, I just think that like a lot of it is not realistic for people. For our generation, a lot of the markers of success just are not realistic. So I wish I could be like, well, just don't care about it, because I get that. I definitely feel it too, but it's just one of those things we have to deal with, because even like college educated like white kids are not like, you know what I mean, like are not doing what their parents' generation was doing. So I mean, it's just real out here for, I mean, not to all lives matter the topic, but you know what I mean, like it's not even easy. If white kids with like parents with money are struggling, like the struggle is real for us. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Whoa.
We'll wrap it up then.
So yeah, that's going to end. That's going to end this episode of Podcast of Color. We want to say thank you to Curly for coming on last week. That was amazing.
Thank you, Miss Girl.
Come back whenever you want. You can find us on Twitter at Trash of Color. You can find us everywhere else at Podcast of Color. And I quickly wanted to say thank you to Hornet, the gay app, because they put me on this list of Come
on, Hornet.
Influences.
Oh my god. Yes.
Insta influence. Yes. Come through, influencer. Come through, Instagram.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yes.
Rakeem is an Instagay.
It says
She's an Instagay.
Sorry, keep going.
It says, as Black History Month comes to a close, follow these 11 change makers, trailblazers, and activists. And
wow.
Asa Marie Preston is like on this list, but they have me first, so I was kind of shook. So
come on, Rakeem, number one.
So thank you so much. And I think DeRay was on this list, maybe. Yeah. So I was just like,
oh yes, DeRay.
So I was just like, hi, Daddy. So I was just like saying thank y'all so much for that. And there's some stuff that I'm working on that'll be coming out soon that I can't wait to share with you guys. So,
wow, look at you.
Yeah. So with that, do y'all have any announcements or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I do, but I'm gonna wait because it's not finalized yet. So I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I have something, but I feel like so good because usually Rakeem has the thing, but I might have a thing to announce soon, so we'll see.
I'd like to can I do a shout out really quick?
Yeah,
go for it.
I just want to give a shout out to the 321 boys. I think they know who they are. Some of them are listening. So there's this I don't know, bi-monthly party that happens in Echo Park. When it's hosted, it's like a queer Asian space out here, and it's not at a club, it's at someone's house, and it's very welcoming and really chill. And I've never felt I wish I had this when I was younger as well. This is one of those things where I wish I had, because like I never got to hang out with a lot of queer Asians. Like I feel like growing up, I think I've explained this before, like had I got into certain spaces, a lot of places would be like, oh, you're too white to be here or whatever. But this was a space that I felt like really safe at, and I just want to shout out to them for hosting this space all the time. I had just discovered this like really late, but apparently they've been throwing parties for like 9 years now. So I just want to shout out to them. I've been to a few of their parties recently, and it was just, yeah, thank you for doing what you do and holding space for that, because it's rare.
Yay.
When you come to New York, I'll take you to Bubble Tea.
Oh my God, I want
Shout
to go
out
to
to
Bubble
Bubble
Tea
Tea.
so bad.
And sorry I didn't go to that, John, but next time.
It's okay, yeah, next time.
Yeah, there
Wow,
were,
the anti-Asian.
no, girl,
That's what I said.
I was like, well, I'm not Asian, and I also had prior engagements. But anyway, so we will see y'all next week.
Yeah, like and subscribe and give us all the reviews and all of that, and follow us on Twitter at Trash of Color, and follow us everywhere else at Podcast of Color.
I said that.
And sorry, I missed that. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I'm embarrassed.
All right, y'all. See you next week.